My people, my people, my people, my people, my people, my people, my people. I want to bring something to your attention, my people, my beautiful people, of how lawless this America is, right? Of how lawless America and Americans are. So I'm taking this time to just to invite some people here, just to let them know that I'm going live, I'm going live, I'm going live, I'm going live. Right? Right now I'm standing outside one of the LA Metro train station, right? And I'm going to tie this in with how lawless this country, this state, and this city are. They are a bunch of lawless people, and they are intentionally lawless, right? Intentionally lawless. And I'm going to show you how these people, you see, like when you have sex and you have an orgasm, these people get orgasms when they violate the rights of black people, and when they do evil, they get orgasm. That's how they enjoy, that's how they get pleasure, right? They get an orgasmic relief when they do such. Now, this facility is the facility of the Los Angeles County. All of the facility where you have train tracks that are used by the Los Angeles Metropolitan Transportation System are Metro County facility. Right? They are different from city facilities. Right? So I just want to do this video to show you how lawless these people in California are. They don't care about the law. Only when they are imposing the law against a black person does the law have value to them. But otherwise, they will violate your laws and they don't care one damn. Let me show you. Let me continue. Now, as I told you earlier, this facility is the property of the Los Angeles County. The Los Angeles County owns the train, and they owns the facility that facilitates the movement of the train to and from the destination within the city and the county of Los Angeles, right? Now, anytime you go on these facilities, you will notice that there are police officers on duty. Los Angeles Police Department officers on duty, which are city employees. Now, these city employees in a county facility, they ask you for your identification, they check you for warrants, they make arrests, they do all of these things on this facility. Now, the average person, especially the average black person in California, complies without asking any questions, right? But the question I want to ask here, do the LA police have any authority to operate in a law enforcement capacity on a county facility? The answer is no. They do not have any authority to operate in a law enforcement capacity on a county property. For example, everyone that the LAPD stopped on the train station, on the train, asked them for ID, run warrant checks on them, and arrest them for committing any offense, doesn't matter what the offense is. It was done unlawfully, it was done illegally, because that is all they do in California. They find means of violating the rights of the citizens, especially when you are black. They find all kind of means to violate your rights, right? And this is just the simple fact, because the authorities get some form of orgasmic relief when they violate the rights of black people. For example, you see that police car coming there? He was parked on the outside of the train and he was waiting, right? But when he see me recording, he said he leave, because they suspect they know what I do here. They know when they see me, they are always up to something. Now, what you have to realize, in the United States, in California, their jurisdiction, right? And in California, there are 4 jurisdictions that you can find in California. There are the federal jurisdictions, there are the state jurisdictions, there are the county jurisdictions, and there are the city jurisdictions. Now, for example, on this piece of land that I'm standing here, right? This is state property. This is state property, right? The road where you see those cars are going, those roads are city property. And that way you see the train is going, they are county property. So what does this mean? And how this affects the lawlessness of the people, of the authorities in California and in Los Angeles? This how it affects the law. Now, we know the FBI are the federal police. They are the police of the federal government. They enforce federal laws. Now, the thing is we have the sheriff department. The sheriff department are the county police. They enforce state laws on county premises. Remember that, state laws on county premises. The FBI enforce federal laws all over the United States, right? The sheriff department in California enforces county state laws on county premises and county ordinances, and the highway patrol, which is the state police, enforce state laws on state premises, and the LAPD, the Hollywood PD, Santa Monica PD, Long Beach PD, all of those police departments enforce state laws in their various cities. Now, let me explain it this way. The United States is divided into 50 states, right? Each states are divided into county, right? And each county has different cities. So what you see, there are many municipalities. That makes for the easy management of the state. Now, let me give you a typical example. Let us say the sheriff is right over there on the Metro County train property, right? LAPD, the vehicle is driving by there on the streets, which is the city property. And I am here I am right here on the state property. And someone walk up to me and I stab them up right in front of the LAPD and the LA County Sheriff Department. When the LAPD step onto the state property to deal with me because I commit a crime, he becomes a civilian. I could resist his arrest and I cannot be charged for resisting a lawful arrest. Because as soon as he steps onto the state property, he becomes a civilian with only a civilian right of arrest, which I also have. So therefore, I could resist him at any time. If the sheriff come out of the metro property and come onto the state property and try to arrest me for that murder, I could arrest him, I could resist him, I could stab him up too, and all I will be, and they can't do nothing. They have to take what they get. Because once they step onto this park, which is state property, they have lost their jurisdictional power, and therefore they cannot arrest me, because me and them now have the same power of arrest. We have the citizens' power of arrest, right? So they just cannot come and arrest me, even though I would have killed a man right here. The LAPD, when they come onto this property, they become civilian just like me. They don't have any powers of arrest. If the sheriff leave over there and come onto this property, which is state property, they become civilians just like me. They don't have any powers of arrest. The only people, not even if the FBI is going by there, because murder is not a federal offense in California, because California is an independent jurisdiction from the federal government. Well, quasi-independent. The California laws deals with murder, right? Now, if I kidnap someone, they have to now send the state police to deal with me, which is the highway patrol, because this is this jurisdiction. The same thing happened if I am in this, if there is highway patrol on this premises, and there is county sheriff on the train station, and I in the middle of the street, and I went there and I started throwing big stone in people's car when it passed. The highway police, even though they are law enforcement officers, the county sheriff, even though they are law enforcement officers that are invested with the power of arrest, right? And they are responsible for enforcing the state laws. They still cannot arrest me, because as soon as they step onto the street, they are outside of their jurisdiction, right? They are stepping into neutral territory, where even though they have a gun, even though they have a badge, even though they are sworn officers of the law, right? They are outside of their jurisdiction. It's just like an LAPD officer going to New York City and want to enforce in New York. He don't have the authority to enforce, to be a police officer in New York City. His jurisdiction is the city of Los Angeles. So when you see those LAPD on the train and they ask you any question, you don't have to answer them. You're not obligated to answer them, right? Because they do not have, they're just like you. They're just civilians, right? Even though they're sworn police officer, when they step onto the train station property, they become civilian because they lose their power of arrest. They lose their law enforcement capability, which only applies and can only be enforced on city property and city facilities, right? So what are a lot of people in black people particularly, because white people don't have to know this because they're not harassed by the LAPD and these people like that. What black people don't understand, they don't take time out to learn the laws that affects them and how it can affect them. For example, this is why I'm doing this video. I was on the train station and a young Mexican guy said that the LAPD arrested him and kept him in custody for 5 days. And a black adult A criminal guy say, yeah, they can do that, which was erroneous. They violated that boy's rights. He was supposed to go and get a lawyer and ensure that they pay for violating his rights. They don't have the authority to do that. They have the authority to detain you even on suspicion for only 72 hours. After 72 hours has passed, not after, before the 72 hours is completed, they have to either arraign you or let you go. Right? Not after the 72 hours. Before it is passed, they could only keep you up to 72 hours. So for example, on the 72nd hour, you should be either before a judge or you should be walking out of their facility. So when this guy, and I noticed this, what the white people here in California does, they get a lot of these guys who come out of prison, who are slaves, and they send them into their community to emanate falsehood about the law and law enforcement. And most people think because he went to prison, he went into the system, he knows what he's talking about, and they take these erroneous advice and they allow themselves to be railroaded by the law enforcement authorities in California, in Los Angeles, and they don't know that they have means of redress, which is to go into the civil court. Right? So this is why I'm going to do a series of video that, and you know, the thing is that they don't like to hear you when you don't have an American accent. They think you don't know anything because you're not from here. But they have been here all of their life and they don't understand the city and the county and the state that they are living in. Right? They don't know a thing about the city, the state, or the county they're living in. All they're doing, walking about like zombies and being taken advantage of by these people. Right? So I'm going to be doing a series of videos and I'm going to be posting them on Facebook and YouTube. And I hope these people take time out to look at these videos. They won't, because as soon as they hear my accent, they're going to think that you don't know what he's talking about. But in America, there are 4 jurisdictions. There are the federal jurisdiction, the state jurisdiction, the county jurisdiction, and the city's jurisdiction. Right? And it's not, anybody just can't go and do anything. A LAPD, a federal officer, or a state police just cannot come and go on a county property and execute the law. It doesn't matter how much powers of arrest they have. Every law enforcement division or authority have to operate within the confines of their jurisdiction. They have to operate within the confines of their jurisdiction. They cannot operate outside the confines of their jurisdiction. And it's important for the black people in California to understand this, right? There are 4 jurisdictions. The federal officer only get involved when there is a violation of the federal law. So any part in a state, the federal law is violated, a federal officer has the authority to come in to arrest you and deal with you on county property, on city property, or on state property. Right? But if there is no federal violation, it would be amiss of them to try to arrest you, because that is their authority. State officers could only arrest you after you have committed a crime against the state law on state premises. Right? They cannot arrest you if you violate state law on county premises or on city premises. And the city police can only arrest you when you violate the law in the city. And it is important to note that in every city there are state, there are county properties, and there are federal properties. Right? But anyone just can't run up in there and do what we want to. But this is what they have been doing in California. Because the minority, the black people and the Mexican, don't understand their rights. So they have been violating the rights of these people. Right? Especially the Los Angeles Police Department. They are the prime offender where the violation of black, Mexican, and Latino rights are concerns. They don't care. They don't respect our people. They don't respect minority at all. That is why the Los Angeles County Metro Authority was advised to get rid of the lawful law enforcement officer, which is the Los Angeles County Sheriff, to man the trains and put in police officers. Why? Because they get orgasms when they violate the rights of black people in this place. So they're always changing wrong things to ensure that they get the opportunity to violate black people's rights. Right? So I hope these people will look at this video and will learn something about the jurisdiction authority, and I will come back again soon with another video in this regard.